So remember when I said Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, which are both Avengers from those who don't watch the Avengers film. Don't feel like you need to because, well, I don't know. So anyway, if you're new to my channel, and if you're not new to my channel, you would know that I'm really hard on the Marvel live action films that take place in the MCU because they're mostly underwhelming and just mediocre. And the ones that are, there's very few in between. And Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, those aren't the best, one of the best ones. Those are on the mediocre list, which is, very typical Marvel standards. So if you want typical Marvel, mediocre fashion, then yeah, you'll love those films. But I don't. Okay? I don't. And I want to strangle anyone who thinks that the MCU is a masterpiece and and most of their films are good, when they're just looking really empty inside and want to kill everyone. Except for me. That's that watch right into the theaters. I really have built up so much hatred. I just want to stab everyone in the fucking neck and just to put some peace to my anger. Too bad that's illegal. So, yeah, so, and now I got that anger on my system. Let's talk about Captain America Civil War. The final installment in the not so great trilogy that's at least better than the Dark Knight trilogy, well, that wasn't so great due to some serious editing issues and pacing issues and strange dialogue. Captain America doesn't have that problem, except the two problems that it has is its main character, Captain America, who's the weakest part of every film, and how you just don't really give a shit about his comic book counterpart. It's not like you don't give a shit about him, you just don't give a shit about him as much, so he's more the underwhelming, mediocre version of Captain America from the comics. See, Captain America from the comics, one of the things I really thought was is that he has the power to bring everyone together like Robin Hood by giving a kick-ass speech, even when it's very little words. This Captain America gives the most depressing speeches that you ever heard of, instead of uplifting to feel like you're having sex with a toaster. If you sometimes imagine what it's like to have sex with a toaster like I do. I never have done that. It's like, that's what it feels like. If you strain your imaginary really hard and you discipline yourself in watching mostly mediocre crap instead of good stuff, you will develop serious anger issues, and you will think strange things and come up with strange examples like me. So, and number one, the Captain America films are all ugly looking. I have the problem with the Avengers film. They're all ugly looking. But this is what really pains me. This is where it really hurts me for this movie in particular, Captain America Civil War. It's not just the final installment in the Captain America franchise that's supposed to be this epic conclusion like it advertised, but it's also supposed to tell the story of the fallout between the Avengers and Captain America's ego. and his crush towards Bucky Barnes. There's just one problem. It barely focused on these. It focused on these to a minimum. All these things to a minimum. So, and also, number 3. This is the completely opposite color that they promised us in the trailer. As in less quality. Like, I'm not kidding. It's clear as day that this has even more ugly color grading than Superman Returns. Yeah, you know Superman Returns, you know that you realize, well, some people are 50-50 people enjoy the film. They always felt the film dragged on it. Well, there's a reason why. It's because the color grading's green. And it's tinted green. Even the daytime scenes are tinted green. And the nighttime scenes are tinted green. For Christ's sake, it is not the Grinch, it is Superman. Your pose that film's colorful. And that's why Man of Steel, and Man of Steel made this problem too. It doesn't look like anything like a Superman movie. Even though I like Man of Steel and Superman Returns. It doesn't look anything like what this... Well, Man of Steel was openly honest. What I like about Man of Steel more is because why I like Man of Steel more because it was openly honest of what color grade you were going to get when you saw it in theaters. However, Superman Returns to the opposite. It lied to you. It said you were going to get this beautiful looking. It showed you this beautiful looking film, which is which is gorgeous effects and effects still do hold up fairly well on CGI and Superman at least. And you see he's like with these beautiful set design. But when you see the film on the big screen, it just looks haunting looking. Like it looks more like a Batman film. A Batman film. Are you high? Superman's not Batman, and neither is Captain America Batman. And you think, if you think I'm being over dramatic, saying that the Captain, when I say these Captain America movies and these Iron Man movies and these Hulk movies and Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange and Ant-Man. No, Ant-Man doesn't count because he didn't make Ant-Man and the Wasp because that did look like an Ant-Man film. And all the Avengers film leading up to Endgame and Black Panther. When I say none of these films look like their comic book counterpart, I mean that in both figuratively and literally speaking, but mostly literally. And feel nothing like the comic book counterpart, I mean that figuratively and literally. Because here's the thing, when you put the wrong color grading for these characters, it gives the wrong first impressions to the subconscious brain. It's sending the wrong message to these brains because people are going to think that Captain America is supposed to be dark and a gritty character. Well, he's not. He's supposed to be like the Superman version of Marvel. Basically, his personality and the fact that he feels like he always can inspire hope in people when people look up to him, just like Superman. And he has like such kindness, but he's flawed character, and he has such decency, even though he's a flawed character, and he's a good human being, and he will do anything to protect his team or die trying. And he will die trying if it means doing the right thing. However, Now, does this sound like any of the Captain America MCU's Captain America? Not sort of, but not really. So why is that? It's the same reason why Henry Cavill still doesn't feel like classic Superman, because we see him when we first saw him. The reason why people don't think that Henry Cavill feels like classic Superman is because the color grading, not because the bad camera, bad storytelling, or bad editing, bad pacing. Because it got all these things right. But what it doesn't get right is the color grading tone. You can't do that to Superman. It's this spreading lies to people. You can't do that to Captain America either. And so it's amazing that this movie really does piss me off more than any of the Captain America films. Because this is the most haunting look you can ever imagine for the Captain America. For Captain America. It's even more haunting than altering Alliance 3 colors. Although, I'm not, after seeing that and seeing all the artwork in the Ultimate series, and the color palettes and the colors and the shadow and the colors, I'd rather take that Ultimate Alliance 3 colors, because at least I can tell that's color. Here, I'm not even sure it should be legal to call this color. So let's see. So now let's talk about the story. So Captain America is reminded about Bucky. Then the Avengers fuck him on a mission, which leads them to splitting after some of them half of them sign the Sokovia Accord, half of them don't sign the Sokovia Accord. And now in the Sokovia Accord in the comics, it's called the Superhero Registration Act. But it's called Sokovia Accord because people know that they're secret identities. That's why. Now, which one thing leads to the other? Bucky's framed for murder, even though he didn't commit. So Captain America is going to defend Bucky at all costs. And Steve's ex-girlfriend from World War I or II died in her sleep. And Captain America is still young, and for those who don't know, this is what a problem. See, it's the only way that you know this if you saw the past Captain America films. But if you just wanted to see this Captain America films, you would be totally lost of what's going on in this film, because it's just okay. Wait, who's that? Who's Peggy Carter? And why is Steve so sad? And wait, this girl's related to Peggy Carter, and she's the granddaughter? And why is Steve arguing mad at Tony, who's Ultron? What is all these events that Tony's talking about? What are all these events that Captain America is talking about? What's all these events that the Avengers are talking about in signing the Sokovia Accords, even though we're supposed to be mad at Tony? Because the film says that Tony's known for being a screw, so that's why he signed the Sokovia Accords. Plus, a kid died during this Ultron battle while they were kicking ass. And he drops the news to Avengers, and that's why he thinks that need to be put in check. And okay, now he gets some good. Now he's giving a good point, but now here's Captain America's point. It is not convincing in the slightest. And no, Tony, remember when you stopped making your weapons? You chose that right. If we sign this, we are giving our right to surrendering our right to choose. So it's not a fucking election, Captain America. You're not signing your soul to the devil or something. You're signing it to the government of the United. You're signing it to the government of our country, to the Secretary of State. And he makes a good point, and he actually makes a point, a small, brief, good point, and can understand where he's coming from, but it's very brief. I kid you not, it doesn't even hold into a minute to soak in. When it comes to all the Captain America permanent important character developments, those things are quickly briefed over or glossed over. But when it comes to Tony Stark's character development, which should be called Iron Man 4 or Iron Man Civil War, because this feels more like an Iron Man movie. Because whenever it comes to Iron Man's character development, they let you sink it in for at least a minute, and even though they leave some information out, you feel like you can follow along more where Iron Man's come from than where Captain America's come from. Captain America sounds like the senile old man that's just randomly nonsense, and you just want to say to him, okay, Gramps, yeah, sure. Settle down. Eat your porridge. Crazy old hag. And everyone says that every Avenger says that except for Falcon, who follows Captain America completely blindly just because he looks up to him, because he can't think for himself. Because he has his head shoved up his ass. Who eagerly has his head shoved for his ass? Captain America in this film. But why? Because we have no idea what they're talking about. Most of the stuff that they talk with just sounds like utter nonsense that a fifth grade would come up with, because he just to try to come up with a good excuse. Because he says, just because he doesn't want to finish his homework. So he says, what's that? It's a bird to play as Superman. But, okay, maybe they wouldn't say that, maybe a 5th or 5-year-old wouldn't say that. I don't know, but you get my point. It just sounds like that, nonsensical like that. And, this, in the relationship with Tony, the relationship Captain America has to Tony feels out of the blue, out of nowhere, organic. If you're just watching this Captain America, this is your first MCU film ever, and chances are when this came out, this was. But when it's Tony, when you do the same thing with Tony, it feels like you kind of understand what Tony's saying, but even though you don't agree with him completely. There's a certain extent you get reasonable, but you don't agree with him completely. Captain America just sounds like he's talking fucking nonsense and talking out of his asshole, because he is an asshole. Now, I'm just going to say, Captain America is the worst. He's not the worst character in this film. The worst character in this film is Falcon. Alright, doesn't he have an act, but with this, and he did got an act in Captain America Winter Soldier, and he's never going to get an act in any MCU films anytime soon. So let's just call him the Idiot. The Black Idiot. And Captain America, for some reason, turns Tony, and after Baron Agent Carter, also known as Peggy Carter, the ex-girlfriend, Underground, Captain America asks Black Widow, well, if you signed the Sokovia Code, why did you even come here if you already made your decision? And he says it like a guy of a dick. Like really, it's not like real. Like it's like he says it like an outdated dick, and it's like he sees. It's almost like he sees anyone that signs the Sokovia Accord a betrayal on him, when it's really just them for thinking for themselves, or what they think is right versus what Captain America think is right. But here's the thing. That's exactly what it is. It's Captain America's ego dying. Again, it's a Captain America's ego. Because one way he says to Tony, after Tony says he's trying to keep peace and stop you from tearing the other Avengers apart, and one way Captain America says, you did that when you signed the Sokovia Accord, scum. Well, he doesn't say scum, he said, you did that, you should have thought of that when you signed the Sokovia Accords. So, Tony's now pissed and calls Spider-Man to take Captain America's shot and put him in timeout. Captain America won't take any of this bullshit because he knows that Clint Barton's innocent, and he's not the man that they're looking for. The other man's just called this Baron Zemo, who looks nothing like his comic counterpart. He's just this skinny, white dude whose Russian accent sounds like he's whining every time in between his Russian accent. His fake Russian accent. You can tell that's a fake Russian accent. And he's not Jack like his comic counterpart, and he doesn't wear his blue-purple mask, or he doesn't have a sword like his comic counterpart, or his purple tights like his comic counterparts. So like Hawkeye, how he doesn't act or look anything like his comic counterparts. Although, turns out, to be honest, Darren came up a lot better than Hawkeye because he is trying to play the villain, but also trying to have fun. But you see, we're both to sympathize with the person who split up the Avengers because the Avengers killed his family. So, they killed the Avengers. He blames the Avengers killing his family, not on purpose, but by accident because they were trying to prevent more collateral damage. And we're supposed to feel sorry for this bastard. Well, I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for you, bastard. At all. And I especially don't feel sorry for Captain America once he loses his relationship with Tony. Because here's the thing. Tony has every right to be mad at Captain America and feel betrayed by him. And now I'm going to prove it to you. Why? Because it just makes sense. And it's so easy. Okay, so after the Peggy's funeral, and Captain America goes to Bucky's house and turns out he believes Bucky about not killing anyone, and Bucky's now on the run, and now Captain America's now a criminal for getting into hero shenanigans. He gets his shield taken away, and his suit, and still just Falcon as his tech and suit taken away. Why? Because, well, Captain and Falcon went to help Bucky together to try to get them. And turns out Bucky's not brain controlled anymore, he's not evil anymore, he's just trying to live a simple life. Now, here's the thing, you actually like Bucky in this. It gives you reasons to like Bucky in this, and ways that the Winter Soldier just expects you to like Bucky just because he knew him. Captain America. That's why he doesn't want to kill. Just because he knew him. How, you know, that's not a bad relationship, buddy. But, you know, Bucky's kind of was kind of a dumbass in the Winter Soldier anyway. And saved Captain America's life, and yeah, you're not going to know this any of this stuff if you haven't seen the other Captain America franchise. So this doesn't hold well on its own at all. In fact, that's my problem with most of the Marvel films. Most of them don't hold well on their own. Here's the ones that do: Iron Man 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Thor Ragnarok, Thor, and Thor: The Dark World, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and this one sort of half and half. Look, I don't like it that I'm being, oh fuck, I just realized that this doesn't hold that well as on, so this can't count, but Age of Ultron holds well as on its own. Avengers Age of Ultron, that's the full title. Those hold well on their own. It holds well on an Avengers movie on its own, but not a Captain America movie. And you're starting to see why. The reason the pudding, basically. So, it holds well on its own. So it does hold well on its own, but it doesn't hold. It's called Captain America Civil War, and it doesn't really hold well on its own in that. And when it comes to right, it doesn't actually hold well on its own at all. It's actually the worst Captain America film since 1990s Captain America. And I like that. I don't like that film at all. But to be fair, that holds well better on its own than this is. Because, I like this film, I don't like that film. That film at least holds well on its own. You feel like, okay, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Any nonsense or anything important. This film, you feel like you're missing some nonsense and something important. But mostly important stuff. The stuff to root for Captain America and find him charming and likable. However, due to Chris Evans, I think he's called, Chris Evans' performance as Captain America, he does try to put as much charm and likability in his performance as much as possible, but there's only so much he can do. So, yeah. So, the Avengers, after Bucky breaks free, after being hypnotized again, and realizing Bucky was hypnotized, as in brainwash, after Baron Zemo said a bunch of random shit that foreshadowing all of the upcoming Marvel films, but it sounds like gibberish. It's not even intimidating or mysterious. It just sounds, you're listening to yourself, are you fucking high again? When you came up with this stuff? Were they high when they came up with this stuff back in the day? The guy who made the book, and you're thinking, he sounds like a total dumbass saying these random stuff. And yeah, Bucky, that works. Bucky kills more people. And then the Avengers go to war with each other. Iron Man takes most of his friends, and Captain America doesn't seem to care what his face, what fate his friends might suffer. He just seems like it's worth it. So he just says it's worth it. And Bucky's worth it. You know, you feel like he knows his other friends better, and you feel like that Bucky's been gone for a real long time. They barely know each other. We're supposed to side with Captain America. When you're thinking to yourself, are you saving someone you barely know just because you had childhood like history? I mean, for all we know.